Welcome to episode 85 of TerrorVision horror podcast Splatter Chatter, where we have casual conversation about some of our favourite horror movies. I am one of your hosts, Jennifer Strand, and joining me is our very own limb collector, Dan McGuinness.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Well, anytime. How's it going? What you been doing?
This week, what have I done? Oh, I smashed through, I read the Hellbound Heart, the Clive Barker book. I've never read it.
Yep.
I've only ever watched it, and I thought, you know what, bit of a fake fan.
I was going to say, like, you call yourself a fan?
I read it. It's very short. It's like 100 pages.
Yeah.
I read it in a couple of nights or whatever. But it's pretty much just the film, except it more focuses on the main. The first half of the film is Julia as the main character, and then the end half is like Kirsty as the main character. But they're all the same age in this film.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Like, the dad, it's not her dad, it's her, like, ex-lover.
Yes.
Like, Kirsty. And yeah. So it was really hard not to have the visions of, like, the film of the people in there.
Yeah.
And you can tell where he, like, did some things in the film where he's like, a better idea would be, like, to have Frank fucking come up, like, as a fucking nervous system and shit first. And, yeah, just cool stuff like that. And then I was like, I finished it, and I was still, because I just finished the Scarlet Gospels as well.
Yeah.
And I was just thirsty for more Hellraiser. So I went onto the internet, and I bought myself, I've got them in my hands right now.
Yes.
I got the Hellbound Hearts, plural, which is a collection, 21 tales. 21 tales inspired by Clive Barker's Hellraiser universe. And it's got people in it like, you've got, Neil Gaiman writing one. You've got Steve Niles, you got Mike Mignola, who's the Hellboy guy and stuff like that. A couple other people, Kelly Armstrong, I don't know these people. Tim Leben. I'm sure these are Christopher Golden. Christopher Golden. Now that's a name.
Golden.
It sounds like a guy who created Golden Books. So there's that. I haven't read it yet. I got that. And I also got myself a copy of Hellraiser the Toll by Mark Allen Miller, which is like, it's not by Clive Barker, but it's kind of like, it counts, and it's like the Toll. It's set like 30 years after Hellraiser, the Hellbound Heart book, and about Kirsty Cotton and what happens to her. Yeah, and the toll of fucking dealing with the Cenobites. Well, I hope that's what it's like. I don't know. I haven't read them, but I've got them both here. The hardcover of this Toll book is very. It's very small. This is like a novella. This is 68 pages.
I feel that I could write a novella.
Yeah, they're easy.
I feel that I could do that.
Yeah, and but except, like, I looked on, like, Amazon, and the hardcover version of this goes, like, the cheapest it goes for is $455. So I opted for the $18 softcover.
So you didn't get these through your work? Because I know that you can get novels and shit through your work.
No, I didn't. They were not available through my work. Okay. I had to hit up one of the rival companies, and there wasn't much of it out there. There isn't. I'm really surprised at the lack of Hellraiser novels that Clive Barker has written. He's got lots of comics and shit, and like tie-in stuff, and like the Book of the Damned and stuff like that. But like actual, just like I just thought there'd be a Hellraiser 2 book, and you know what I mean? Like he made Hellraiser 2, like Hellbound. Yeah. As a movie, but it was never based on a book or anything. I thought at least he would have just, I don't know. Anyway, I'm interested to read these. They might not be good. They might be. I think one of them, who knows?
Well, who knows? I mean, that's the small one is going to be like a train ride.
Yeah, these are all my train rides ones. But I'm interested. Yeah. I've just started to go balls deep into Hellraiser. I like it. It's got enough lore behind it.
It's such a shame that the comics are not really available.
No, the latest comics definitely. I've got a bunch of the old ones and also the Nightbreed comics. Yep. But I'm gonna get into it with the TV show coming out. I saw the the poster for it.
Yeah, it looks great.
Because there was the massive thing that they've changed the puzzle box, and to me it looked exactly the same.
Yeah, I didn't really pick up on anything strange, but I also really like Creepy Duck Designs did the poster, and they just recently done all the Scream 5 posters, which I'd been just flooding the basement about for a while. So
sick. Yeah. So you're Scream, I'm Hellraiser. I've got the Hellraiser puzzle box that I got off for you, and yes. I domed it.
Yes.
You should take a photo of that, put it up on the...
I will.
Yeah, and we'll take a photo of the fucking books as well. Why not?
We'll do it. We'll do a Hellraiser photo shoot today.
Oh.
It'll be great.
I'll put on my pinhead.
I slayed a dragon this week.
Oh, fuck.
I know. So as I said last time, I've been dabbling in some Dungeons and Dragons with some people.
This is the first time I've ever heard of anyone actually encountering a dragon in Dungeons and Dragons.
I know. So it's been a very easy sort of introductory campaign. We're playing the Rick and Morty one, which is what got me into like, okay, maybe I'll give Rick and Morty a go. So I've been watching it. But yes, we got to the end.
Right, who are you in it? Are you Rick and or Morty?
No.
Do you play the characters? Or do you just meet them?
There is... So Jerry's a character, and I think Morty's a character, and Summer's a character, but they're like rogues and things. I'm just like, because I came in...
Because it's based on, I think, the Rick and Morty D&D comics.
I think so,
yeah.
But I came in late to the game, so they just sort of bundled me as Meatface Barbarian, which I played pretty well. So,
excellent.
Yes, we got to the very end, and I got to slay the dragon in the final blow, and it was fantastic. I basically, neck to groin just sliced.
Did you, was it one of those kind of like people were standing by the end? Or was it bait down to the final rolls and shit? And you were just like...
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually a lot of fun.
I'm jealous of that. I can't muster a bunch of friends that will do it, eh?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, as an adult and, 40-something, like trying to... Put that much time aside, like continually. I was just like, yeah, it'd be rad. Like you can see the D&D was clearly made for people living in a share house or
yes.
a young, like the Stranger Things kids.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
I mean, this room is made to play Dungeons and Dragons.
It really, really is.
I mean, studio.
Yes, the studio. Yeah, like because we only played for a couple of hours last night, and I get quite tired quite easily. So when we finished up at 11 o'clock, I was like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to get up in the morning. Like, this is just so late.
I know. Oh, shit.
But
you felt like you're in the 80s again, staying up late.
Oh,
but not past midnight, because that's impossible.
Oh, no. No, I pretty much crashed as soon as I walked through the front door of my house. It's fine. Anyway, I thought, well, actually, this was your topic idea this week. We are going to discuss some of our favorite ghost movies.
Ghost/haunting or whatever.
Ghost/haunting. So ghosts are heavily set in folklore as spirits of the dead who can appear to the living in one way or another. That is the absolute simplest way we can put it without going super deep. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the unknown often has us so concerned about the things that go bump in the night, which makes it the perfect subject for the world of storytelling and visual media. Dan, do you believe in ghosts?
No. I don't believe in anything. Like, seriously,
well, the idea that...
I believe in science.
Yes.
And midichlorians.
Well, science cannot disprove or prove the existence of ghosts.
Well, ghosts...
I don't necessarily link ghosts with the afterlife and a religion because there are so many different religions and... It's a whole thing. That requires a whole thing.
The ghost implies that there is a soul, and a soul implies that there is fucking God. And
No, see, I don't want to go down that path. I'm not going down that path.
If you believe in ghosts,
it could be a scientific thing. It could be something. It doesn't necessarily have to be a soul.
Well, if it was a scientific thing, it'd be something they could really solve by now. Like, for the level of, like, I've been working with a lot of, like, genetic stuff recently. Yeah. With, like, the level of shit they get down to, if there was, like, lingering side effects of like photons of your brain sparking outside of your body after your death, because it's like that. But it would have to a ghost to exist would have to somehow create its own power.
Yeah,
where a brain creates electricity and stuff. I don't fucking know. I don't think they know how to do that. So I mean, if a brain can create electricity, but it is a mass of a thing. It's not just on an ethereal plane pulling. I mean, it probably could pull electricity out of the sky. A ghost probably doesn't need much to fucking power.
Well, this is the thing as well. So, like,
static electricity.
What concept of ghost are you thinking of? Because there are so many different styles and specters and all these different things that it could just be running on some kind of energy.
Well, the other thing is, if that was true.
Yep.
If that was true, I feel that ghosts wouldn't have memories or anything like that. It would just be like a fucking, like a mechanism or something that would just be like, even if my soul came out and it could move objects and that, I don't think it would be thinking about much stuff.
Well, that's why they say that a lot of the time...
the brain is the part that thinks and the brain's not there, so...
Well, a lot of the time people say that it's like a certain action. So like at 10:07 every night, this woman walks from this side of the house to that side of the house and disappears. Like, that she didn't die doing that, but that's just something that's happening.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It is a very, very big, nasty,
I feel it just would have
topic.
been like something.
Yeah, something.
Also, no, I just don't believe it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm not, like I say, I'm not a religious person. I'm not into the idea of any kind of like afterlife, but I do very much enjoy.
You just enjoy. You just want. That's that whole thing of like you're just scared of the chaos of the universe. You're just scared of a chaotic universe. You need structure.
I do need structure. I find it very fascinating. There's so much behind it. I very much like getting into the idea of spiritualism. It's not something that I would ever sit and practice any kind of thing, but I am always just fascinated by the whole topic and the folklore. So like, there's a book, The Ghosts of Old Edo, which is Old Edo, which is all these ghost stories from Japan, and they're fascinating.
Yeah, they're good.
But yeah, so today we will be talking about some of our favorite ghost films.
It's always favorite, the Splatter Chat. It's not best. It's definitely not best.
And I would
there
like
are
to
so many better films than our choices a lot of the time.
Well, and this is the thing. I have basically gone. My choice today has basically been out of pure emotion rather than like absolute all time like die-hard favorite kind of film.
So 2 of mine are some of my die-hard favorite. 3, yeah. A bunch of mine are, but there just so happens to be ghost. Which made me think, I didn't realise I liked ghost stories that much. I was like, it's going to be a hard one probably. But once again, I came across the old zombie thing of like, oh, if I could like heaps of them.
As I watched so many of them. So do you want to kick us off?
Yep. So my first one, I'm just going to go down my list in no chronological order because I think they're all fucking great films. Number 1, 1982, Poltergeist.
Yep.
I mean, it's a fucking sick film. It is shot beautifully. It is acted beautifully. It's super interesting. It has the fucking, one of the best halfway through the movie fucking experts coming in and saving the day.
That's what I want. I just want more experts, please.
Because there's always a ghost expert, especially in ghost films.
Yeah.
You have an expert.
You need an expert.
There's always an expert that, whether it's via... you often get like a voodoo lady come in to help you out.
Someone who knows what's happening.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. That kind of thing. The expert. The expert would really solidify it in ghost films. Because I think it's because the idea of a ghost is so hard to work out and guess that you just need a character to come in and tell you what's going on.
Well, and that's
otherwise they'll never work it out.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like you need that little bit of like extra information because it's such a weird and concept.
Yeah, it's Poltergeist.
But that's very that's more of an electric kind of vibe. It's in the TV. It's in this. It's controlling the energy within the house.
Yeah, it was a bunch of ghosts that were really attracted, that were like, because it was on top of a burial ground, the estate, and they were attracted to the life essence of this kid who could just, did she have any powers? Was it just because she was in tune with...
Yeah, there was kids, the idea that kids are more susceptible, that kids and animals see these things because they don't know mentally shut off by it.
But then, Poltergeist has this beautiful long game in it. It starts off very slow, the haunting or the disturbances, and they're not threatening at all, which is very cool. Most of it's set in the day when it all starts happening. So,
I love a day horror.
Yeah, there's little things like the bit with the chairs, practical effects of the chairs. There's a shot where she's cleaning the table. She walks, the mum's cleaning the kitchen table. She takes some bowls away, puts them on the sink, comes back in the same shot. Suddenly, all the chairs are on the table, arranged in a way that you couldn't have done. Yeah. Let alone in that time.
Yes.
Which I don't know how they did. It must just have been glued and they just stuck it on there and cut. You know what I mean?
Probably.
And then it starts from if you put something in this part of the house, it moves to the next part and stuff like that. And it seems all very innocent and exciting. And then they get some. Kind of gets a bit more aggressive and they bring in some experts, which are these aren't really experts. This is there's 2 tiers of experts in Poltergeist. It's really good.
So there's the science and then there's the
they're
spiritualists.
the students. They're almost like the characters from Ghostbusters.
Yes.
I didn't put Ghostbusters in my list.
Did you not?
Fuck.
Oh, put it in now. It's fine. Well, yeah, because they've obviously got these students of like paranormal science research. They come through to investigate like the energy and everything that's happening with this house. And then, of course, they bring in the medium.
Yeah. But like, yeah, it has that great bit with like how out of their depth they are. That classic one where he's like, I once filmed a Matchbox car move, a 2 foot across a table over a period of 24 hours. It's like, unperceivable to the naked eye, but if you do it in time lapse, time lapse is a great new thing. And the dude's like, oh, okay. And he opens the door and the whole fucking room, like everything in the room is spinning around. Little toys are coming up to them and stuff. And the next shot they're having tea and
it's
they're
like a vortex.
shaking.
Yeah.
Such a good. And it's Steven Spielberg at his best. Like the opening is like, you remember there's like.
Well, it's Tobe Hooper, but sure, okay, it's Steven.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah.
The controversy that surrounds that.
It is very Steven Spielberg though.
Yes, of course it is.
They're like the opening of just like. The guy who's gone, obviously been like they're watching the big game, and the guy had to go down the road and grab more beers, and he's gone on the kid's bike, and he's like trying to,
it's like,
and he's riding through the suburbs, and you see, it really sets it out on like kind of these are just these white collar working class people, and they're like suburban suburbs. There's kids going around. It's one of those very idealistic suburbs that we all saw as Australians growing up, but I never thought they were real until my friend who's American said, I grew up on one of those streets. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
That's
I thought
cool.
they were movie streets.
No, just a clean cut.
Because you look at Australia in films and it's all we do is just murder each other.
In the middle of the outback.
Yeah, with hats and Cobras. That's my first film.
All right, so my first film, it is probably one of the most famous ghost films of all time, The Sixth Sense.
Is it the most famous?
I don't know. It's the first one that came to my mind.
You think it's more famous than Poltergeist? Anyhow, Sixth Sense.
And Ghostbusters. I forgot about
the
Ghostbusters.
first M. Night Shyamalan.
Yes, this is the first film that introduced us to Shamalama Ding Dong and the classic twist.
The twist.
What a twist.
Remember in South Park when they have him on there to bring him in because he had great ideas to say things, and he kept not having ideas, he just had twists.
Yeah.
And he goes, that doesn't help us. It's not an idea, it's a twist.
Yeah.
He goes, okay, well, what about we make it that you're actually your mother's brother? And he goes, that doesn't help us. That's a twist. It's not an idea. And it was really bringing it in, nailing that fucking
But
nail
this is
in the
fantastic. So this film came out in 1999. So, and this twist is iconic. So we've got this little boy he's having a lot of trouble in his day-to-day life because he sees dead people all around him, and he is being sort of helped by this therapist.
Is he a child psychologist?
Yeah, he's like a child psychologist.
Which is Bruce Willis?
Yes. He's been brought in to help this boy because all these ghosts keep coming to him.
I'm trying to remember. It's a long time. Does his parents believe that he sees ghosts? Does he say enough stuff to prove it?
So it's like a single mum, played by Toni Collette, who is amazing.
Oh, yeah. Is it Toni Collette?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, she looks well different, though. But all these ghosts are coming to him, and he doesn't understand why. And basically, this child psychologist helps him realize that he has this gift that can help these ghosts cross over to wherever they need to be. They obviously have some kind of unfinished business, whether it be that, they were murdered and they need help solving the murder, or they
need help.
just like little things.
The kid is a ghost detective.
I would watch a child
Harry D'Amour out of Hellraiser.
I would watch a child ghost detective show.
Ghost detective?
So he starts helping these ghosts around him, and which sort of brings him sort of in a peace with what is happening.
The kid.
Yeah. So this is, and it
very good. It's got some very crazy scenes in it, doesn't it? It's like an old lady scene or something. Is that right?
There's like a scene.
Is it a ghost? No, he's an alien.
No, it's an alien. Yeah. But yeah, like the scene with the little girl who she died. Turns out her mother was like poisoning her.
You're right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then of course, we get the famous twist with Bruce Willis. Turns out
he's just one of them.
He's just one of them. He came to this kid looking for help too. Didn't realize it.
But he was a child psychologist.
He was previously, yeah. So yeah, this is definitely.
I'm trying to remember like whether I picked that or like whether like is it like if you rewatch it now and not seeing it, would you just guess straight away of just how films are these days?
I don't think you could watch it now and
not know. There'll be people. There's so many people that don't have
possibly.
any interest in like that kind of genre, and like, you could show it to them and be like, oh.
But I remember being like, oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Well, the other day when I showed my Braden, my employee in Fight Club, and he didn't know what happened. He just thought it was about fighting. So he didn't watch it.
Braden.
And I showed him Akira as well, and they hadn't seen them.
What?
I know.
And he's on a movie podcast?
Oh, that's why I made him do it.
Suck it, Braden.
All right.
Love you.
That's it? You done?
It's a great film.
It is a great film. Like, it is a good ghost film. Mine, I realised, are all in chronological order, so that's the order of them, except for the last two, which I'm going to make in chronological order.
Uh-huh.
So next one is 1996, the golden year of film and CG.
Yes, the best year.
The Frighteners, Michael J. Fox. Who the fuck made that film? Was that like someone?
I think it was Peter Jackson.
Yeah, is it Peter Jackson? It is, isn't it?
Pretty certain. So
this is one after bloody Brain Dead.
I know that I've seen this film.
Yeah, it is Peter Jackson.
But I also don't know that I've seen this film. Does that make sense?
So you don't know, you can't remember one bit whether you have actually seen it?
Like I'm vaguely 100% sure that I've seen it because I remember the VHS cover and I remember it in my hand at one point and I remember certain things from it.
Well, the only thing you need to know about this film, number one, it's got fucking Michael J. Fox in it.
Yes.
Number two, it's made by Peter Jackson. Number three has Jake Busey in it.
Oh.
You can never go past Jake Busey and his like 45-foot teeth that he has in his mouth, that dude. Like, his two front teeth are like fucking Buddha's fingers. Like, that dude has some big ass teeth. I love it. The Frighteners is like, if you can't remember, which you can't, is Michael J. Fox can see ghosts, except he's like hangs out with a bunch of ghosts, and he makes them go haunt people, and then he comes in as the paranormal dude to get rid of their shit to get paid. Yeah, but he's just friends with them. And but then a fucking real fucking ghost starts haunting people, a motherfucker of a ghost. And it's really cool, and it's just about that, really. Yeah, like it's really good. The effects in it are like, Peter Jackson. Yeah. We know Peter Jackson can do sick effects. So
how have we not done this as an episode?
Yeah, we should. Write it down. Write that down.
Write that down.
The ghosts have like, I can't remember how they did the ghosts, but they're like, there's a cowboy and all his guts is pulled out and all his intestines are hanging out. But they're like that kind of Ghostbusters ghosts. They're clear and glow-glowing and that. But they all look wicked. You know what I mean? And whether that it might be puppets, it probably would be puppets of Peter. Then again, there's a lot of CG in this film. This is his like stepping stone into, Lord of the Rings CG kind of thing. But there's some really fucking cool ideas. Like the opening scene's wicked. It's like the carpet starts moving and the carpet comes up. Like the floor runner grabs people. Like, and like they fucking blow its head off. The floor runner with a shotgun and stuff. And that's like the prologue.
We definitely need to watch this film.
Yeah, and a lot of this is set in the day in this film as well. It's not like a scary
day horror.
Yeah, day horrors are the best.
I love it.
It's probably between Dead Alive and Meet the Feebles. I hate that film / love it. It makes me feel awful.
Yeah, but you feel good about feeling awful.
No, not all the time.
Not
anyway,
all the time.
The Frighteners. It could be one that skipped lots of people's lists through the years. Like, it was in that dead zone.
Yeah.
Of like 1996.
Yeah. Well, I think any horror film released after like Scream is just dead in the water, really. Yeah,
but this is a different vibe. Like, and it was before Peter Jackson had his like fingers in any pies and stuff. He had his, he had made. Is it before Brain Dead? Like, what we got? So it was like 1996.
Yeah, Brain Dead's like.
Yeah, I can't remember what Brain Dead is. 1992.
Yeah,
okay. So Brain, it's after, but Brain Dead,
Yeah.
Brain Dead was before, that's what I'm trying to say. So that's mine.
All right. So my next one is a film called Lights Out.
Never heard of it.
It is 2016 film directed by David S. Sandberg. This is like one of those films that I watched it and I was like, meh, when I was kind of watching it but it was one of those films that I later, when I went home, it kind of had a bit of an effect. So I am personally not too fond of the dark. And this film just really plays in that. So it's basically like this house is being haunted by this entity that can attack you in the dark.
Just turn the lights on.
We get those scenes where, like,
the lights are going out.
They're walking and...
Can the ghost affect lights? I can turn them off?
A little bit.
A little bit? Because it just hits the switch a little bit?
Not quite. But, like, the ghost you'll see this figure over in the corner, and as you're leaving work and turning out the lights, and then it's... you're like, oh, what's this figure in the dark? And you turn on the lights, gone.
It's a jacket.
You turn off the light and it's a little bit closer. Like, that kind of vibe.
But your light's off. How do you see it's closer?
Well, because you turn the light back on and it's fucking closer.
Oh, you see it?
Well, yeah, because you can still see it in, like, shadow and shit like that. You can't, like, it's not like pitch black. But yeah, so basically, like, this whole film is like this family who are being haunted by this, and they're trying to figure out what is happening and why this entity is, like, attached to their family and is attacking them in the dark. But like
the old work, did they have an expert come in and tell them?
Yes, of course.
Excellent.
They do, of course they do.
I do like the poster of this film. Like, it's like the poster is just like a light switch which is taped on or off. I can't quite work out which it is.
Taped on.
But like they probably had a light switch there at first, and it's not scary enough, so they just pulled the cover off of it and smashed the wall around it a bit. Now it's scary.
Yep. But yeah, like I say, like, it's one of those films where, because it plays on, like, I don't have a great love of the dark, and those kinds of things play through my mind, but then this film has then just done exactly what I don't like, and I've left and I've gone home and I'm like, I don't feel good right now.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
That it affected you, so therefore you like it. Yeah, one of mine is that as well.
Yeah.
And you understand it and you know which one it is.
So yeah, I've not watched this film in a little while now, but I do highly recommend it because it's one of those films that was the first to come to mind when you said, let's do ghosts, because of just how it made me feel.
Yeah, rad.
So check it
out.
out.
Like those, like, alien abduction films with me. Like, they scare me, but I have to keep watching them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's more of a weird, a weird indulgent interest of the fact that, like, if this can scare me, why can this scare me? Therefore, I must know more about this thing that can scare me, which doesn't exist. Because I still don't believe in aliens either.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, next. You done?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're done.
I'm done.
My next one, 2002, my chronological order is the remake of The Ring. That's a ghost, isn't it? Yeah, it definitely is a ghost. The Ring lady. Yeah, she's a ghost. She's someone who got killed and came back as a fucking ghost.
Yeah.
But in The Ring, the expert is the videotape that tells you what's going on. So the thing that fucks you over is the expert that gives you the clues of what's going on. But in very beautiful traditional Japanese horror, doesn't matter.
Nah.
Can't stop ghosts.
And that's what I like about, like, the more I read about Japanese folklore and mythology.
You just can't win.
It's just fantastic. It's
can't
so interesting.
Because you couldn't win. Because, like, if something, like, set its sights on you that within these, like, these worlds of ghosts, like, there's nothing we can do because we don't even exist on the same plane as them. And they're all like, because The Ring is all about, deciphering what's on the tape and, this happened to the girl and this and that and that. And if you go there and do this and that might, like, set her trapped soul free and all this shit. And it's like, nah.
You've made it worse.
Yeah, well, that's not true. It's just like, yeah, that is the story of her, but knowing it's not going to change it or change anything, she's still fucking pissed.
Yeah. The only way you can get out of this is if you do the thing you're meant to do.
Which you don't know.
But
exactly. I can't remember how they
don't know.
Is an expert come in?
No, because she made a copy of the tape. So she'd made a copy of the tape and given it to someone else.
Yeah, it's the whole time they didn't realise that they were never in any trouble.
So that's why at the end of the film, she's sitting there and she's helping her son.
Gets her son to push the tape.
To make
that's right. It's not about her anymore. It's about him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because she showed him? No.
Well, he just found it and started watching it. As good kids do.
No, she showed the boyfriend.
Oh, she showed the boyfriend, yeah.
And
she gave him a copy. She made the copy to show him. And her son was just randomly in the middle of the night.
It's such a great idea that the only way to stop it is to continue it.
Yeah.
And
well, it's the only way that you can stop it. It's kind of like the vibe of It Follows. Have you seen that one?
Is that a sexy one?
Yeah. So the only way that you can get rid of this entity following you
is to have sex with someone.
Is to have sex with someone and pass it on to them.
So STD monster.
Yeah, but the concept is like, well, that person needs to pass it on to someone else, and it needs to be this huge chain reaction.
Yeah, because it goes back to you if it kills them.
Yeah, it'll just get back to you.
Yeah, that's even worse, isn't it? So, yeah, your life is just fucked.
Yeah.
Because you just hope that those people... And then, what if you accidentally give it to, like, a fucking nerd who can't have sex?
You basically need to go to a prostitute first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember what it follows. Do you know if it's back onto you? Like, if a person dies? I can't remember. So you just have sex with someone?
Yeah.
Or you could just keep having sex with each other.
You could.
Just throw it around.
Yeah.
Just catch it around.
Just gets a little bit closer to like, okay, guys, let's, You
could have like an it group and have an it orgy with them children.
Nope. Nope.
Anyway, what was I doing? Yeah, The Ring.
The Ring.
Yeah, so perfect, beautiful ghost film. Like, terrifying as well. Some of the, and like I said, this is one of those rare instances that I think the remake is actually like as good as the original kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And I just remember seeing it. It was so interesting. Like I was just watching it. The bit like where as she's getting haunted, basically, but until the event happens, like the shit that it does to her, like she coughs that bit of string up and starts pulling the string out of her mouth.
Such minimalist kind of things,
horror,
but it's still just grotesque. Like everybody has had a little hair trapped in their mouth, and they freak out, and they're like trying to fiddle around for it, and now it's like there's a lock of wet sewer hair.
It was like wet string, which was and at the end of it was attached to fucking one of those.
The electrodes or something.
The electrode, yeah, and it was like,
yeah,
and she had to like cough that last.
So it's all those kinds of things that just are unsettling,
like a horse
personally,
committing suicide.
not visually.
Yeah, like the fly that she pulls out of the video and just shit like that, and you're like, oh, so interesting.
Yeah, The Ring is great.
Yeah, it's a heaps good film.
So good. I'm going to rewatch that.
Yeah, you should. Or do it as an episode.
We have done it as an episode.
Oh, yeah, we have too.
I'm going to repost it. Everyone should watch it. All right, so my next one is not technically a horror, but I put it on my list, so whatever, I don't care. It is Blythe Spirit. It's from 1945, directed by David Lean. Lean. So this is based on a Noel Coward play. It's basically about this English mystery novelist who invites a medium to his house to conduct a seance, because they were real big, like seances.
Seances were the thing.
They were
Ouija boards just marketed things created for seances back in the day, so they've got no like real folklore behind them.
It's fascinating. I have a whole book on it.
Aren't they they're just an item? Like they're just like a marketing tool for seances. So they're not evil. I actually have a bit bad vibe about them. I was like, you know what? I don't like the idea of these things. I'm like, I was just hook, line, and sinker into it. They're not even anything. They're like it's like a game of me being afraid of a game of Operation on the table. Like that's as much scary as it is. So Operation scares me more because the nose beeps at me.
It'd be better if you got electrocuted. But yeah, so this guy, he invites a medium to his house, but he's also sort of, because he's working on this book, but he's also trying to like expose this medium as a fake. He thinks it's going to be funny. However, it takes an unexpected turn, and he has it results in the medium bringing forth his ex-wife's ghost to haunt them. And this is 1945, and it's basically kind of like a black and white film, and to determine that she is a ghost, she is just painted green.
Good.
A lot of flowing.
Well, it's not black and white. No, it's a colour. It's in colour.
Oh, it's in colour? I just remember her being green.
Yeah. I think there is a black and white version. They've colourised it.
Yeah, quite possibly. So then she...
Technicolor.
And only he can see her. So she starts, like, wreaking havoc on his current relationship, on everyone around him, sending him insane. It's, like, it was a lot of fun. It was one of those films where I was, like, sick at my grandparents' house, and it was just the midday movie. And so I was just laying there sick watching it, but I got really, really into it. And of course, I never got the title.
The fever.
So I was trying to like track this film down for years.
And then you got it.
But it is a very, very good film. They did recently remake it with Isla Fisher and
really?
the lady from something.
The lady from something.
The lady from Knocked
Quality
Up.
podcasting. What?
The lady from Knocked Up who is married to Judd Apatow.
Seth Rogen.
No, she's married to Judd Apatow. I can't remember her name. She's in a lot of stuff. She's pretty funny.
Julia Rod-Tutt?
No.
Isla Fisher?
No.
Judi Dench? These are all in the remake.
She is in the remake.
Yeah, these are all in the
remake.
remake.
Really
Amelia Fox?
No.
Dan Stevens? Those
No.
are all the actors. I just read them out.
None of that's making sense to me.
Doesn't matter then.
I'm not picking it up. It was not great.
Oh, yeah, that's the 2020 remake.
Yeah, so there's a 2020 remake. I didn't love it. It was kind of disappointing. But yeah, so this original 1945 one, yeah.
What? It's a textbook ghost story. As in, like, this. It might not be horror, but it's got a ghost in it.
It is a textbook ghost story.
Is The Frighteners really a horror film? Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I wanted to put it on my list because as a ghost film, it kind of, and I really love it. So there
My
you go.
second one. My fourth one. My next one is 2014, going in my my chronological order, is The Babadook. Babadook. I nearly missed this one. I'd forgotten about this film, but yeah, South Australian film.
Yes.
South Australian Film Corporation, though, shot in Melbourne. Mm-hmm. One of those. I don't understand that. Just shoot in Adelaide.
Yeah, we're pretty.
It is. This film is. So this is it's really weird because like this would have been at this order on my list anyway, because I kind of go from like. No, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
From best to worst?
But no.
Okay.
No. I mean, as in, like, this is like when I saw this film, I was blown away. Have you seen it?
Yes.
I saw it in the pictures. I didn't know what I was going to go see, and I was just like, "Whoa, that was rad." It's. I mean, I'm always going on about I like my practical effects and I like my kind of fun in my movies, but my ones that I love the most are really serious and just really well done movies.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Like this one is just. So this is follows a single mum and a kid. It's one of those films. I can't. And they get like basically haunted by this thing called the Babadook. It's and it comes. There's like a storybook, like a pop-up book that the mum reads the story to the kid.
Yep.
And it is just a massive conversation on. You don't know if it's just the mum having like a mental breakdown or this thing is happening, and they do it. They film it so well, and they don't fucking jump the shark in anything. Their big reveals don't even big reveal 100% what's going on.
Yep.
And it's just the ultimate in the background horror. Shit's just in the background all the time. There's little things happening. Is she, and you're like the whole time, is she just descending into madness? Is this all in her head? Because she reads this book about it, and it could just be that she has latched onto this kid's book.
Yeah, well, because I think her husband had recently died.
Yeah, she's gone through trauma.
So she's going through the grief process, and rather than dealing with the grief of losing her husband, she's hyper-focusing on something else. So it's whatever is happening to her is like the manifestation of her avoiding the grief.
Yeah, and it's just very well done.
Yeah.
And it's, to the end, it's like relentless. And it's quite... there are some pretty shocking scenes in it stuff. Not like gore scenes or anything like that. It's just a really well put together film that just came fucking out of nowhere. And yeah. And then to add the icing on the cake, the fucking Babadook, the ghost, somehow got twisted into a gay icon for the year.
Yes.
And it was like the representative of like the 2015 like gay pride month or something, and it was just from like a weird Tumblr that just thought, just as a joke, mentioned that clearly the Babadook was like
well, it
an
was
LGBT.
also I think when they put it on streaming services, I think when they put it on streaming services, they put it in the LGBTQI.
Oh, is it one of those? Because that's happened a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yes. And because I thought there's those things like the B in LGBTQI plus.
Yeah.
stands for Babadook and stuff like that. And there's always, and they actually brought out like a Blu-ray version of it with like the
pride flag,
in the background. I'm really rolling with it.
Yeah, I think there was a company that were producing sculptures of the Babadook for a little while, and they actually did a pride one.
Okay. So. Yeah, and there's like, T-shirts that say you're about to be Babashook. Like the Babadook all like jazzed up like for Mardi Gras and stuff. And like, oh yeah. Anyhow, that has nothing to do with it. That's a bit of a...
It has everything to do with it, Dan.
Yeah, you're right. Tidbit. So yeah, Babadook. So, but you kind of don't want to know that if you want to go in watching it. You don't want to have like party Babadook chasing them in your mind, with bloody spring break beads.
No.
Oh man, but yeah, Babadook, one of my favourite ghosty, haunting-y, like...
Yeah, I'm definitely due for a rewatch. I don't think I've seen it since I saw it at the cinema.
Yeah, I've got it, but yeah, it's always... Because it's one of those films that is really good.
Yeah.
But it's like a fucking epic to sit down and watch it. And it's going to take up all your brain space. Yes. It's going to like... Yeah,
you need to set aside an afternoon. You need to be mentally and physically prepared for it.
You don't pop it on.
No.
You don't pop it on in the background and do the dishes to the melodic sounds of the terror.
The Babadook.
And the Babadook is like kind of terrifying.
A little bit, yeah. I think that was another film where I loved it at the cinema. It was really great. And I'm like, that was just a really well-made film. But it was like later that night that I was home by myself and I'm like...
Yeah.
Huh.
It's definitely one of them.
I'm unsettled.
Yeah, it does very unsettle you.
Yes. Well, the last film on my list, don't laugh.
Is rubbish.
It's not rubbish. It is Casper. 1995, directed by Brad Silbering.
I've never seen it.
Have you never seen Casper? So Casper came out at the right time. Like I was 10 years old when this came out.
Oh, right, yeah. I was not.
No, you were not. It stars Christina Ricci, however you want to pronounce it, Bill Pullman.
And the President of the United States.
Yes, Bill Pullman.
Before the poor man, Lone Star from Spaceballs. Yeah. And the poor man's fucking, what's his fucking name from Cape? The Michael Douglas. Poor man's Michael Douglas.
It also stars a very young Devon Sawa.
Wait, this is around the time that she did like Wednesday, isn't it?
This was like a few years after. Because like the Addams Family was like 92, 93, I reckon. It's around that. It's like the peak of her success. But yeah, so I mean, this is this family. It's the father and daughter. His wife has just passed away. He's also dealing with the grief, but he is a ghost counselor. Like he is so adamant that, all these ghosts have unfinished business. That's why they're still around. So the idea is you just got to work with the ghost. They can work through whatever it is they need to work through, and then they're going to go.
Is Casper the ghost of a little boy?
Yes.
That died?
Yes.
Did they mention that in it?
Yes.
Because I remember the Casper cartoons because I'm fucking 1,000 years old.
Oh, yeah, I used to watch it all the time.
They didn't really address that very much, did they?
But it was so hard. Did you ever, I rewatched some of the old Casper ones recently, and they were so heartbreaking.
Really?
There's this one with a fox. No, I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, you're welling up.
I'm going to well up, yeah.
Fox, dead man.
But yeah, so he gets paid by this woman who has inherited this gigantic mansion in this town of Maine or wherever, and he goes there because it is haunted and he has to get the ghosts out. This is also really good because there is a few methods that they try to use before they bring
vacuum cleaners
him in. No, they actually do use vacuum cleaners in the film though. But they call Ghostbusters. And there is a scene where, Dan Aykroyd comes running out and he's like, who are you going to call? Somebody else. And he bails.
Amazing.
So we get these really cool scenes. So these people move in to this house. There's 3 ghosts. It's
got Eric Idle in it. Did you mention that?
No, I didn't.
How can you not mention Eric Idle?
I know. I apologize.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Keep going.
But yeah, so they move into this house. He starts working with the three ghosts that are pretty horrible people. Well, horrible ghosts. Fatso, Stinky, and Stretch. And then, of course, Casper's there.
They're the ones from the cartoons, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, Casper's there, and he develops a bit of a friendship with Christina Ricci's character. He kind of develops a little bit of a crush on her, which is weird. But the film's just really good because it's like, it is a kid's gateway into horror. There are a few scenes where the ghosts kind of possess the dad, and they kind of convince him that the best way he can see his dead wife again is to kill himself.
Yeah, good on him. Because he's an Archie character, isn't he? Casper.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
because he's with Wendy.
Yes. So yeah, the whole film is like, it's a really good kids gateway horror, but it's also a really good film for children to sort of
deal with death.
It's fun to watch.
There's heaps of them, eh?
Oh, there's so many. But the 1995 one is the best one.
Spirit's Beginning. And there's Casper. Oh, there's a Casper and Wendy. Hilary Duff is Wendy.
It's Hilary Duff's Wendy. I've never seen it.
Hilary Duff?
Yeah. Hilary Duff.
Yeah, right. I really like fucking Bill Pullman. I reckon he should have been in like so many more things.
Yeah. And he's fantastic in it as well, because like he's trying to play this like father who's dealing with the fact that like his life is falling apart, but he's also still got to try and be a therapist to these ghosts. He's got to try and be a dad to a daughter who's also going through grief, and he doesn't know how to deal with it. But he's also pretty funny in the film as well. So
yeah, right.
Whether or not you want to classify it as horror, that's up to you. It's a kid's gateway. It's fun. Check out Casper. 1995.
Okay.
All
right, my last one
Yep.
is 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Going on with my chronological order, is Hereditary. Fuck that film.
Are you going with ghosts or cults?
That's a ghost.
You want to go with ghost?
It's because they get like haunted. You think it's a ghost?
I think it's a cult. I think it's witchcraft. But it's subjective. It's subjective.
But yeah. Oh, no. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Because I did look, I actually looked it up to see, is Hereditary a ghost film? And they get haunted. Like their house has like
there's
things
something
in it. Yeah. Like, and I mean, I can always replace it for Ghostbusters, which I also have in my honourable mentions. Which is Ghostbusters. We don't need to talk about Ghostbusters.
We don't. You know what that is.
If you haven't seen Ghostbusters, then why are you listening to a horror podcast?
Fuck off.
I mean, it's not even that horror. It's more comedy. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Hereditary. I think it's a ghost film because even if it's like the big reveal at the end, it's a demon. Is it?
I'm not sure. I was steering clear of ghosts as like demonic entities. I was steering clear of that.
Yeah,
that's
but
the whole
film reads though as a ghost, a haunting film, kind of thing. And I think that, I'm going to call it a ghost film.
Yep, that's cool.
It's basically, I like it for the exact same reasons why I like the Babadook.
Yep.
It is a very, very serious, probably the most disturbing mainstream film I've ever seen. Like, I can't think of any other, big budget film that disturbed me in the ways that this film disturbed me. And the reason I am so obsessed with it is because it did that to me.
Yeah.
It's got fucking Toni Collette in it.
Yeah.
She may be the best actor. Like, one of them.
Yeah. Her and Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett?
Yeah.
What about the lady, that's in like, oh my God, I forgot her name.
Yep, that lady. She is also the best.
No, she's in that film which is about billboards. It's got in the name.
Oh, Frances McDormand.
Yes, yep. She is also
also fantastic.
She's maybe one of the best actresses in the world as well. Or actors.
Yes.
Fuck actress and actor. They're just all actors, aren't they? Acting. But I think Toni Collette is a sick in it.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
But the other thing, everyone in this film is crazy good at acting. Like from the son, like that has like there's like the son in it that has like the fits at school and stuff like that. He has to act that shit, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
The fucking what's her name? Millie Shapiro, like the little daughter in it. The fucking I'm not gonna say what happens in this film because this film is so shockingly full on.
Oh, I like 100% recommend everybody watch this film.
And then it's got a massive rewatchability as well. It does that thing which I always want films to do, which Paranormal Activity never did, is that every scene is utilized.
Yep.
Every single shot in this film either has something that on the rewatch you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Or there is something in the background you didn't notice the first time.
But that's what Paranormal Activity didn't do.
That's what I mean.
So this film
that's what it didn't do.
rewards you.
As I said, it should have done that. And when I went to watch Paranormal Activity, I was like glued at the screen going, oh man, they've got so much opportunity to put shit in every scene.
Yes.
Nothing.
No.
Hardly anything. It's just me watching fucking a scene.
And you're constantly watching Paranormal Activity going, okay, where is it? But this, like, Hereditary rewards you for paying attention.
Yeah. And it's not like a fucking slap in your face either. There are tiny little things in the background and stuff. The stuff that are on the screen for like half a second, half a frame. They might, if you miss it, doesn't matter if you didn't see it. Doesn't affect the story that much. But yeah, and then it's just got like it all kind of like crescendos into this huge fucking thing at the end, and you're just like, and the movie ends, and you're just like, I am fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
What have I just watched? Like I always said, like my wife was in the next room when I was watching it, and she just came out and goes, "What the fuck are you watching?" Like she just heard the film.
Yeah.
And to anyone if it's a ghost film, haunting. It's definitely
That's cool.
They're getting haunted. You just don't know what. They're just getting haunted by something strange at the end. Yeah.
There is something strange in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Well, let's jump into a couple of honorable mentions.
Yeah. So there's lots of ghost films, but yeah, Ghostbusters. Obviously, we've already mentioned Ghostbusters, but Ghostbusters. Who wants to talk about Ghostbusters? I mean, I do.
Yeah. Well,
I've got my Lego Ghostbusters car.
I really feel we need to do it as an episode soon.
Yeah?
We haven't.
We'll just point out all the most problematic bits in it, though, and how fucking lecherous Peter Venkman is. But then again, this is his character. But then again, back then, he was seen as, like, the hero character. As in, like, that's what people want to be like. Nowadays, we see him as, like, what a gross cunt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Okay, so The Haunting of Hill House and The Haunting of Bly Manor. Both are TV series that they are on Netflix that you can watch, directed by Mike Flannery.
Both is.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain.
They're both really cool, aren't they?
They're both so well done. So
they do a bit of that, like, watching the background shit.
Yes. So you can pick out all of the different ghosts in The Haunting of Hill House. And that is a truly unsettling series. The Haunting of Bly Manor becomes more of a gothic horror rather than...
What's gothic horror?
So it's like what would... It's in a castle. It's in a big thing, and it's very dank and dreary and blah.
Blah.
That's not the best definition of it.
No, it's not at all.
But yeah, both really good, long series, but they're the kind of series that I've gone, okay, I'm just going to put on the first episode and I'm just going to check it out. And then 5 episodes later, I'm like, I need to know what happens, but it's like 9 o'clock and I need to go to bed.
And then you got The Haunting, The House on the Haunted Hill, first and second, and it's in like both versions.
Yeah, the OG and the
I thought about these films, a couple of these. A lot of the, and also I kind of my picks get skewed by if we've done the film before as an episode. I do like to talk about it, like, but usually we've done, we did The Ring as an episode. Clearly, I forgot. Have we done Poltergeist?
Yes.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago. Poltergeist, I reckon. Yeah. But anyhow, House on the Haunted Hill. Good one. Paranormal Activity, we've mentioned already.
I tried to, very recently, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get all of them, and I'm going to watch all of them.
And find the best one.
And it just was tedious.
Are they all kind of the same?
Pretty much. And then it becomes like a whole other thing.
I love when it's like Paranormal Activity, and then they've got colon, and it's like a word like school time or something like that. I can't remember what they are, but yeah.
Taco Tuesdays.
Yeah. Paranormal Activity.
But I also
Mexico.
didn't find... So I feel that the hype train was real built up for the first one when it first came out. That when I watched it, I was like...
Yeah, I was disappointed. I was expecting to be like... It'd have like an angle to it that made me think that was really clever.
Yeah.
It never got clever.
No.
When it should have got clever. Is Paranormal Activity one of those like fucking yearly movies for a while? Was it like Saw?
Yeah.
You know how they came out like every Halloween?
There is a lot of them.
Because, they're...
And they've just recently
doing them,
done another one, which I didn't enjoy.
Why not?
I don't know. It didn't do it for me. But I feel that if it was like my whole wrong turn argument, it was an okay film. I feel that if they had changed it a little bit, put a little bit more effort in, and took away the Paranormal Activity or the wrong turn and just named it something else, it could have been better.
Like stood on its own feet.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's more the Paranormal Activity is more in here as a series, as an honorable mention. Like, look how well you did.
Yeah.
Like, you might not be the best films, but you did great.
Yeah, it's a franchise that stemmed so many fucking sequels. It's.
There's no real character though. There's no merchandise they can really do. There's no
No.
Saw. There's no fucking the little clown guy on the tricycle. There's no. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. You can't really merchandise it. You can maybe do a t-shirt. You can sell
fucking cameras, branded
yes,
ghost catching kits.
Ghost mode.
I threw a couple on there as well. The Amityville Horror. They're ghosts, aren't they? Would you call them ghosts?
Do I want to call them ghosts?
Like a haunted house?
Yeah, it's like a haunted house.
Yeah.
Which we've talked about.
There's a million of them as well. It's another great franchise that seemed to come out as one film for a while and then suddenly got jumped on.
Do you know there are 35 or 38 Amityville Horror films?
It's funny how they got horror in the name.
And it's Amityville Horror Bird Bath, Amityville Horror Clown House.
Oh, really?
So at some point we completely lose the Amityville house and we go into this whole other, just because you slap Amityville on it, people are going to watch it.
Oh, I have to look it up now. Let me find some of these.
Because I think they just did one recently and it was like Amityville in the Hood or something.
Well, I remember that Amityville 3D poster with the claw.
Yeah, the claw.
The three arm coming out
I've been trying to track down because I thought, you know what I'm going to do this year? I'm going to watch all of the Amityville films. But of course, I think the first...
Amityville, New York.
2 or 3 you can't get anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm having a lot of trouble tracking them down. Because obviously I want to watch them in order until it becomes a hodgepodge of just a name slapped on a terrible film.
Amityville, Death House. Amityville, Asylum. Amityville, Island. That is a real.
Yes, I'm aware.
Amityville, Vanishing Point.
Is there a car?
What?
Is it a car?
Vanishing Point?
Yeah.
Amityville legend lives on and resident as a local boarding house. Yeah.
Okay.
What about Amityville Island? The cursed survivor of the killings of the Amityville house brings the evil to a small island where bizarre genetic experiments are carried out on humans and animals in a secret woman's prison.
Okay, I'm going to watch that one.
That was just kept going.
Yeah. It's going to be my mission. I'm going to watch all of them. Mark my words.
Oh, there's one that's called My Amityville Horror.
Oh, is that a documentary?
Don't know.
Okay, that's cool.
Anyhow, there's a bunch of them.
There is a fuck ton.
There is indeed. There is. Let me bring us back. Bring
us back.
And that's it. That's kind of it. There are other ghost stories out there.
And you could probably rattle off 10 or 20 that we didn't even think of or consider.
What about this question I've said? Is Freddy a ghost?
No.
What do you mean? He died he died and got given the powers by elder gods to be ghosty in your dream. You got to think of the main the killer ghost. Is Jason a ghost? He died and then comes back and he keeps coming back.
True.
But he's made of flesh.
Yeah, I'd put him more in the zombie category before I put him in the ghost category.
Yeah. What are the other killers? Scream's not. What are the other killers? I can't think now.
But I think Freddy is more of a demonic entity at this point.
He's a demon?
Yeah, I don't feel that there would be...
He's a dream demon? Yeah, I reckon he's a dream demon.
I don't feel that...
I wasn't saying he was a ghost. I was just asking because I thought about it lightly. Because when I was looking this up, people were I was trying to work out ones. I saw on some lists and they're like, no, I'm in Elm Street. I'm like, is he a ghost? Yeah. It's like saying Pinhead's a ghost because he used to be dead. Alive, and now he's dead, but he works for hell. He's a demon. He's a hell priest.
Yeah.
Motherfucker. Anyhow, that's it.
Yeah.
We're done. But before I sign off, I'd just like to shout out to some people. Some of the people that have helped us out by interacting with us over on our socials through the week. So thank you to Patrick Roberts. He's always on there.
He is.
He loves it.
He's on it.
Adam Gillespie. Not a Chance 44. Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Living in the Past Pod, which is another podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And Dion Cracknell. You have to mention old Dion Cracknell.
Oh, Dion.
He comes into the shop. He chats about some things.
I work with him.
Do you?
Well, I don't see him, but he works at the same place.
Apparently he works there.
Yeah.
But, and so you've been listening to TerrorVision Horror Podcast with Dan and Jennifer, which is me and her. We're available on all major podcasting services and also on the YouTube, which I'm liking is not getting much love anymore.
It's getting no love.
Which is good because our YouTube hits are going up. Not YouTube, our podcasting is where, and that's where I want people to be.
Yeah.
In our podcast, not on our YouTube channel kind of thing, which is fine. People can still go over there and have a gander. Maybe it's a gateway into the pod, but yeah. But no matter where you choose to consume us, please make sure, you hit the like button, you subscribe to us, get on there. Leave a comment, a review, you get mentioned, stuff like that on the show. You can interact with us on Facebook and Instagram. We've got an email, which is, what is our email? It is terrorvisionpod@gmail.com.
Yes.
So, yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, and remember, kids, be kind, rewind.